Okay. Hello and welcome to the Clint Initiative podcast. What is the Clint Initiative? The Clint Initiative is a multi-phase project to create entertainment here in Minnesota and to distribute that entertainment to the world, starting with this podcast. This podcast is the seed from which everything else will grow. The Clint Initiative is about great music. The Clint Initiative is about great live entertainment. The Clint Initiative is about a sketch show. The Clint Initiative is all about filmed content. If you want to know how to do a podcast, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to do an album, how to find musicians, how to get it recorded, listen to the Clint Initiative. If you want to know how to create more content over a short period of time, you're listening to the Clint Initiative and we will help you get there. If you are ready to create, if you're ready to talk about creating, if you're ready to be about it and get it done, we want to talk to you. This is the Clint Initiative. My name is Paul and my co-hosts are Katie, Clint, and Jamel. We are the Clint Initiative. If you are interested in creating content, if you're interested in creating movies, music, television, films, short films, and feature films, then we want to talk to you. We want to have you on the show. Email us at theclintpodcast@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. And now, back to the show. We are always working to give you a little more. We are always working. Give you a little more. We are always working to give you a little more. We are always working to give you a little more. What are we doing? We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall. We're throwing it at the wall. We are throwing it at the wall to see what's stick. Come on, what are we doing? Sarala Alaped, estamos Sarala Alaped, Sarala Alaped, estamos Sarala Alaped, Sarala Alaped, estamos Sarala Alaped, a ver que se pega. Yeah. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Clint Initiative podcast. Take a look. We've got the whole gang here. We've got Clint. We've got Jamel.
Yeah.
We've got Katie. Everyone is in the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna go ahead and check in with each of our co-hosts, and then, believe it or not, we have a guest today. It's always great when we can invite someone else along on our journey. So I'm going to start with you, Katie. How are things going with you and today?
Great. Everything is good. Blessed to be here. Ya estoy listo para empezar. Good to go.
Perfect. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump over to Jamel. Today we got another Jamel's Jam coming up. So how's Jamel doing today?
Jamel is great. I'm happy to be here, happy to be enjoying life right now. And I just know that if you keep yourself focused on what you have in mind and the goals you're trying to reach, and don't let any outside influences distract you on that, and you stay focused on it, you will achieve it.
Okay. Always the good words from Jamel. And now, Clint. Last but certainly not least, Mr. Trinidad Takeover himself. How are you doing today?
I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. I'm just letting my energy be free with my hot cup of tea.
Okay, we're probably going to have to turn your volume up a little bit.
Oh, you're not hearing me?
Not very well, but that's okay. So,
it's not.
What I wanted to do is to let everyone know this is another anniversary show. This is another show where we started the Clint Initiative podcast the 20th of July of 2023. And believe it or not, we started our YouTube channel on the 13th of August 2023. So this is another anniversary show. We started with Jamel and Clint, and now we've added Katie, and now we're gonna add our guest Patricia, and she'll get to introduce herself and tell you guys a little bit about herself. Hello,
Hello.
Patricia. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I'm thrilled to be here and to meet all of you. I love people in the creative arts world. I love it.
Perfect. So I'm going to put you on the center stage and let you tell us a little bit about who you are,
Okay.
how long you've been in the business, and what you're looking forward to doing in the future.
All right.
The show is yours, Patricia.
All right. Well, I came into the acting world a little bit different route than a lot of people. So I'm old. Face it, I'm a little old. So when I went to school, acting wasn't something people did. You just did the high school play or whatever, but it really wasn't serious. So I got that traditional degree, got married, had kids, worked in the business world. But all along my life, I wanted to be a chef since the time I was a kid. So then when I was in my 40s, I went back to culinary school and became a chef. And then I eventually got into food styling, and I started food styling for a home shopping network, Live TV. Well, then we all figured out that with what I do and what my background is, then I started selling on TV. So now you see me on the Shop HQ home shopping channel, selling all things kitchen and food. But knowing television is an ageist industry in certain things, especially. So I started thinking, well, what else can I do besides this? Because at some time they're going to say to me, oh, Pat, you're too old for this.
Oh.
So it hasn't happened yet, but I'm aware that it can happen at any time. So my good friend Brenda, who's a makeup artist in the film and television world here in the Twin Cities and nationally, said, Pat, just start taking some acting classes. So I did. So I spent a lot of time with Bill Cooper and a few other people.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yep. You know Bill. He's the best. And
Uh-huh.
then I stumbled across voiceover. And I trained with Jessica Mars in St. Paul for like a year and a half.
Mhm.
And so this year I'm just really launching my voiceover part of my business. So I do commercial acting, and I do like industrials and funky little videos for things. I just auditioned to do a cooking show. And then I'm working on learning voiceover. But the hardest thing in the industry right now, especially in our market, is roles for older women. I fight really hard for that. And I just did the 48-hour film festival.
Nice.
And I got nominated for Best Actress in a Lead Role in my
Awesome.
film.
Congratulations.
That was super exciting. But everybody I talked to, my message is there are so many talented older women in town too. Please don't forget about us. So,
Yeah, there definitely are, and I know a lot of them.
yep.
Perfect. And
Pat,
Yes.
do you recognize me yet?
No, you were in one of my acting classes.
Also, do you recognize me on Shop HQ?
Fitness model.
There you go.
That's I'm like I know you, but I couldn't place you at all. But
Quite
you're
totally.
I always walk by you and say hello when you're fixing the food in the kitchen area
Yeah.
and placing it over in the studio.
Yep. I'm like you're such an out of my environment, but I'm like you looked so familiar, and I couldn't place you. But as soon as you said Shop HQ, I'm like, yep, fitness model guy. Yep. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again too.
Clint or Katie, did you guys have any questions for Patricia?
What I would like to add to Patricia is that I hope, since you mentioned that, there are so many limited roles for old people in the acting industry and so on. Well, I hoping that the Clint Initiative is going to change all that, because the world doesn't just made out of young people. It takes
Right.
all different type of people to make the world function. And I would like us as a group to push the dynamics and the different looks that what we got in this world. We push more, instead of they're going to take a young person, put wrinkles on them to make them act as an old person. Get someone that senior age to play the role. So
Yeah.
I hoping that the Clinton Initiative, we were going to change that whole progress.
And I am going to see if I can hook you up with a writer named Dana Gilbertson. She just put out an email asking for older women's experiences in film, and I think she wants to kind of do a documentary about it. But she would be a really good. I'm going to see if I can connect you up with her. I don't know.
That sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're always looking for creative people to connect with, and as we're building our business, one of the things that's important for the Clint Initiative podcast is being a part of the community.
Great.
And bringing creative people together. And trust me, you are definitely someone we've been looking for one of the projects we're doing called Holiday High.
Yay!
So you are the first person for that role.
The announcement is now out.
Say again?
I said the announcement is now out.
Yeah, and everything you're saying just convinces me more of that.
Mm-hmm.
So, Katie, did you have any questions for Patricia before we go on with the show?
Yes. So I know you were saying that you were doing the cooking on television. From doing that to the voiceover, like, how has the transition been for you so far? Is it still kind of nerve-wracking to do, or is it like something easy?
It's not nerve-wracking, but what I will tell you is that since COVID, everybody wants to be a voiceover artist because they think it's easy, right? But it takes a lot of investment in training and equipment. And then auditions, because agents don't audition in person anymore, and everything is you just send it in and you get no feedback. Like, you get no feedback. Like, well, if you had done this, or maybe if you'd done. So you have to just send in your audition, say, I gave you my best slice of pie, and if you like it, you like it. And a lot of people, that's hard for. It's still hard for me, but I'm old enough that the rejection doesn't bother me as much. But I would say you're doing a couple hundred or more auditions to even book a job these days. So
Wow.
A couple of hundred auditions?
Yeah.
It's
For
crazy.
voiceover. Yeah.
That is just crazy. I want you to know that you are now on our roster of talent, because at the Clint Initiative podcast, we don't do auditions.
Good.
Yeah.
This is your audition.
This is it.
I hope I'm passing.
Absolutely. Once you come on the show, and you can stay as long as you'd like, because I'm going to go on to our next section, which is our random question. But you're welcome to stay as long as you would like and be a part of the show. And at the end of the show, you are on our roster of talent. And as we start planning everything out, I'm hoping we can meet at the office so I can go over Holiday High with you, because you are definitely who we're looking for.
Great.
And the next part of the show, we've already done our co-host check-in. So now we're going to go to our random questions. And with the random question, I always come up with two different questions, and the host, the co-host, or our guest can answer whichever question they'd like to answer. Now, these are specialized questions because we just moved into our new space. But the first one is, if you created a video game, what would it be about? And the second question is, co-host, is it time for us to have our just moved into our new space dance off? I'm thinking it's time for us to show our moves in our new space. What do you guys think of that? I'd like to have a just moved into our new space dance off. And the other question is, if you created a video game, what would it be about? So I'm gonna go to you first, Patricia. And which question would you like to answer?
I think, have you ever seen old white women dance? So I think that we better go with the video game question.
Okay.
It would have to center around food. Maybe it's like racing through a grocery store and finding items, or maybe it's like, maybe you're killing people with chef knives. I don't know. Something in the kitchen, steaming, or
learning how to put together recipes.
Yes. I mean, it can be like, yes, I would love to do that. I love doing demos, and if it's animated,
all the different pieces to make a meal.
Yep.
Okay, and Katie, which question are you going to answer?
I'm down for the dancing. I want to dance a little bit. It'd be nice to to combine everybody's different type of dancing, the culture and stuff, learn some new moves, you know?
Absolutely. And with the new space that we're in, it definitely is conducive with us having a soul trained dance line. So come on, Clint. Which question are you going to answer?
The video games.
Okay, so which video game would you come up with?
Well, I would create a video game Street Fighter style, but this one is like Sesame Street versus the Muppets. So you got to choose either Big Bird versus the Spiggy or something like that. Which one of them would win a battle? So I'm going to go with the Sesame Street versus the Muppets. I think it will be a hit.
So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do a knockoff Sesame Street and Muppets because you know they're not going to let you use the real deal.
Well, you also know that Clint just dated himself, right?
Oh,
What?
absolutely. And we got to see those dance moves. And we got to say hello to the people tuning in from all over the world. There you go, Clint.
Yes, we got Kipton.
Got those messages coming in from Trinidad and Tobago. The
Big
West
up,
Indies.
big up.
That's my brother Kipton from Trinidad.
Okay, so the show just keeps on moving, and we're gonna go to Jamel. Jamel, which one of those questions are you gonna answer, man?
I thought about the video game before, but I also thought about getting that energy moving too. So I'm with the dance off.
Absolutely. I'm looking
Yes.
forward to seeing everyone's moves in our dance line in our new space as we start to move in and get set up so that we can make things happen. One of the reasons why this show exists is because producing content and movies takes time and planning if you want to do it right. So this show, 1 hour a week, is a great time for us to let the people sponsoring what we do know where we are, and for them to see as we progress through our productions how things are going. And it's also a great way to keep our audience informed and entertained.
Also,
And one of the things,
jumping in real quick to piggyback off of that, everyone that's watching, please continue to like, comment, and share to continue to help us grow. I just had to throw that out there.
and subscribe, and
subscribe, yes.
and subscribe. So that brings me to the part of the show that I like, because I don't know where I got this song from, but I like showing it because it gets me moving, Don't cost you nothing to hit that like. Don't cost nothing. Go ahead. Subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah, to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Come on. Come on. Subscribe. Don't cost you nothing. Yeah, to hit that like. Don't cost you nothing. Go ahead. Subscribe, don't cost you nothing. So hit that like and subscribe. Yeah, yeah. So hit that like and subscribe. Yeah, yeah. So just hit that like and subscribe. Okay, so before we go on with the show, I want you to know I met with one of our music producers today, the original person that we wanted to work with. It didn't work out, so we're moving on in another direction. So very soon, after we go into the studio, we will have actual music and we will have songs for everyone. And it won't just be me singing, which I know will be a blessing. So the next part of our show is our Bible bracket. What is a show Bible? A show Bible is a document that outlines the characters, plots, settings, and themes of a television series. Writers pitch show Bibles to network executives and production companies in the hopes that it will produce a production agreement. Well, with the Clint Initiative podcast, we do streaming content, we do movies, we do music. So, for our productions, we have a Bible, and that Bible will be previewed here on the show. And what's more fun than a bracket? And this is our bracket that we use each week, and we're in our 19th week of doing shows. And last week was the first week where we had actually two winners. We had two winners. And this week, our two films that are competing is The Day After I Left. Everything went to hell, just like you planned it. But I found out it was all you. And now you're going to pay because payback is a beep. Okay. So that is The Day After I Left.
Okay.
And the next one is Avenging the Dead. If no one will come to save you, by all that is holy, as God is my witness, you will be avenged. So a lot of people may say that that's just a takeoff on the equalizer, but it's really not but that's the part we can go into because what we do, Patricia, just to give you a little background, what we do is we discuss the ideas and then we come up with a final pick between the two. Although last week, both won. But then we use our rating system. And what is our rating system? We decide whether it sticks, whether it needs more work,
Don't forget about it.
whether you want to forget about it. So I'm going to go round robin to each person, and I'm going to come to you last, Patricia, since you're our guest. I'm going to go first to Jamel. Jamel, out of those two ideas, what did you think?
The Day After I Left.
You liked The Day After I Left. No discussion needed, huh?
Nope.
Okay. So now, Clint, which one of those did you like? The Day After I Left or Avenging the Dead?
I'm still trying to decide.
You're still trying to decide.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But if you want me to pick on the spot now, I'll have to say The Day After I Left.
Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to Katie. Out of those two ideas, which one do you like?
I think I'm going to The Day After I Left just because it's relatable. And sometimes when you're with somebody, like you think it's you're the problem. And then when you separate yourself from that person, like you realize it was really them.
Absolutely. And now, well, give me 1 second here. I need to do one thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to our guest, Patricia. Patricia, of those two ideas, what did you think?
I have to go with The Day After I Left. I mean, there's just so many options.
Right.
The story can go so many ways.
Yeah.
I love that concept.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, The Day After I Left. So now what we're going to do is we're going to show our previous winners. And in order for me to do that, I'm going to have to go ahead and upload the file because in preparing for the show, you don't always do everything. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload our video for this week because all I have is the one from last week and I want to be up to date. So, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the one I got. So here are the previous winners. Okay, and of course, our winner this week is The Day After I Left. Payback is a beep.
Yay.
And now it's time for Jamel to take center stage with his moment to shine on the show. And we're going to go with Jamel Jam. And you guys can also comment. This is our react portion of the show. So as things happen,
Born ready for this fashion show. It's going to be so exciting. There's going to be so many good looks, so many new designs. We got a few surprises that'll be coming along the way as well. Saturday's fashion show will be Minnesota Swim Week, and it's July 27th. Doors open at 6:30. To be there, it's going to be exciting, trust me. The most exciting part about Swim Week is just being there. The energy is great. Networking, meeting so many new individuals that are aspiring and now in the modeling industry, and just being one of the veterans at this is good to be able to, if they have any questions, to give any insight that they want to know about the modeling industry.
The outfit though.
pajamas, right?
I love it.
Jamel is serving the perfect Pepto Bismol commercial.
Like you would say that.
Yes,
Hey
I
everyone,
would.
thank you for being here. Guess what? Today is the day. Minnesota Swim Week at the W Minneapolis the Fauché. We're about to turn it up, have fun, and it's just gonna be a great show. You're gonna see some beautiful models along with the latest trending swimwear that's just phenomenal. And guess what? Some of this can turn into poolside conversations. You know what I mean? All right.
Conversations too hot for indoors, right?
Look, you did the oil and all.
Katie.
Yeah.
I was sprayed down like that.
What was that?
They sprayed me down like that.
Look at all those girls taking your picture.
This is the second week we've actually shot footage at the Minnesota Swim Week. I'm hoping next year to make it a 3-peat.
No.
Okay. So that was Jamel's Jam for this week. Each week, we give our co-host a moment to shine. And as you can see there soon, our co-host will be animated and appearing on the show in one of these segments. Next week, we got the return of the Trinidad Takeover. and I'm just looking forward to. I've already seen it, but everyone else will see Clint at Curry Fest, and it's going to be a great segment for the show. So I'm looking forward to
Great.
showing that out there. And this is the part of the show where we do moments from our sketch show. And this is where we do moments from our sketch show. And here it is. These are the projects that we currently have in production. And these are the sketch show moments that are going to be coming up. The first one, of course, is Zoom Therapy Part 1. Even during the pandemic, you have to have therapy. And we have the therapist with the tattoo. Poolside Conversations, like we said, Too Hot for Indoors. Blended Family, Part 1, Father and Son. We have blended families everywhere. And this is just one of those stories. And of course, I'm not sure if you do improv, Patricia, but Improv Powers. Activate is one of the segments that will come up on our sketch show where we have a moment of improv where everyone gets an opportunity. And looks like we have Shy Girl in the house. Hello, Shy Girl. Welcome back to the show. So, did anyone have anything else to add before I go on with the show?
I was just saying that I'm looking forward to Clint's Kari Fresh takeover and also to our animation because, yeah, it's going to be fun having our voices put to an animated character. So it'll look pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, and currently,
Trust me, I know.
yeah, it's a lot of work, and currently, I'm doing everything on my own. But as we build and as we grow, we will be able to add people and produce things faster. And that is where our founders and our inner circle comes into play. With our founders and our inner circle, we actually get the opportunity to, with their help and their support. This show all grew out of a moment I saw on Minnesota Public Radio with the Mill City Singers and their leader, J.D. Steele. Basically, you could be a member of that choir without any audition. All you had to do was show up and you could be a member of a professional choir. So now on our show, I'm using that same concept. I'm just using it for our productions. And one of the things that's really going to, Minnesota Public Radio taught me a lot. And the main thing it taught me that if you don't ask for support, you don't get it. So that's one of the things that I do on the show weekly is I ask for folks to support us. And one folks supported us by getting us a magazine article with Voyage Minnesota Magazine, where we were featured in conversations with Voyage Magazine. And that's really awesome because it gives us a chance to let people know what we're all about and to get our message out there. And our initial founders in our inner circle, we're looking to actually add people to that, to the ones that we have now. These are our original two founders, Devin and Joe. Devin and Joe, they're going to be privy to everything we do before anyone else. Before anyone else, we will be actually involving Devin and Joe in everything we do. And that happens with all of our founders in the inner circle. And you're probably wondering with everything I said, how can you support us? Well, we have multiple ways that you can support us. One way that you can support us is just by shooting us an email at theclintpodcast@gmail.com and just asking how you can help. In addition to that, we also have our Patreon initiative. We have our coffee initiative, which is ko-fi.com. And we have our GoFundMe initiative as well. Right now, everything on the show is being supported by my company, Cycle Forward Films. But we're always looking for support and we're always looking for people who believe in what we're doing and want to contribute it. to it. And I think that the more we show what we have to offer and the more we put content out there, I believe that people will want to support what we're doing. Oh boy, that was a mouthful. Did anybody else have anything to add to that?
Well, I will help drum up some supporters for you.
Well, thank you, Patricia.
Yes, thank you.
That's something that we're constantly working on. And in our new space, it's not just us, it's also Props Metropolis. And I just wanted to give them a shout out because in addition to them providing us with a fantastic space, it also gives us an opportunity to use props. There's nothing better for Improv Powers Activate than having props to play around with.
And also, to add to that, for our future films, we also have a lot of other talent that's in our space as well. They are special effects makeup artists, and also giving a shout out to Metropolis, the two beautiful ladies and very kind and generous. They're also filmmakers. On top of that, we just had a wardrobe stylist come into the space. So the community is there, and I have a feeling that eventually we're all going to come together and just continue to make awesome content with films, sketch shows, feature films, whatever it may be that we come up with an idea with. I'm excited.
Yeah. I'm
excited. Yeah.
Yeah, all the pieces are definitely falling in place. And one of the greatest things is that right now, this show, when we finish it, is going to be available wherever people listen to podcasts. So we potentially can reach millions. Right now, we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and coming soon, we will be on Roku and Fire TV as well.
Wow.
And we are on also other platforms that you can listen to us on as well. And one of those platforms is Apple, what, Paul?
Apple Podcast.
There you go.
It's wherever people listen to podcasts, and Apple Podcasts is really amazing. I have other podcasts on Apple Podcasts, but it was really surreal when I actually pulled up our podcast and I just clicked on it and I started talking to myself, which, I don't want that to become a habit, but it was really surreal to actually listen to myself talking about what we do.
That's great.
Yeah, and this is only the beginning, and we're sort of getting people in on the ground floor of what we're doing. But we have come to one of the next best things about the show is we have come to the part of the show where everyone gets to give their final word. Because like every other show we do, the time just flies by when we make their time, our time, and we hopefully inform and entertain our audience. It's growing leaps and bounds every day. All the numbers are going in the right direction on YouTube and everywhere. So, Patricia, what are your final words to our audience?
Well, let me just say thank you for having me, first of all, because I am thrilled to meet all of you. I admire what you're doing. I will support you in any way I can and help you find some other supporters. So I appreciate what you are all doing in the community, and I would love to be a part of all of it going forward.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. And I'm looking forward to our audience seeing the magic that we're going to create with Holiday High, Home for the Holidays, because we now have our lead in Patricia. So as she looks at what we have to offer, hopefully she'll be all on board and we'll make a holiday film for the ages.
Great.
And now, Katie, what are your final words to our audience?
Well, I just want to say thank you, Patricia, for coming. It was such a pleasure to meet you. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to meeting everybody in the new spot. Each time we have an episode, it's just so more exciting because of all the new things that is coming. And Jay, I loved the segment. It made my day, all the shininess. It was nice to see. But gracias a todos. Gracias por estar con nosotros, and thank you.
Okay. The shininess. I'm going to have to put that in my vocabulary now. All the shininess. So, Clint, what are your final words to everyone here and our beautiful audience out there?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for being here with us, Patricia. It was a pleasure having you with us. And I would like to say to my audience, thank you for having us in your home. Thank you for being patient with us. At times we can be a little stumbly, but glad that you welcome us in your home. And I would like to tell you guys out there, don't tell your problems to everyone. 80% don't care, and 20% are glad you have them. So whatever you got, keep it to yourself. Have a blessed day.
Okay,
and that's good.
And next week, of course, we're going to have another episode of Clint's Trinidad Takeover. It gives people something to look forward to, more Clint in their day. And you, Jamel, what are your final words to the audience?
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, everyone, for being here. For Patricia, Pat, as you know,
Yep.
we've seen each other crossing paths. Thank you for being on the show, and now thank you for being our host, our star for Holiday High. I want everybody out there to have a wonderful day, and let's take a moment to think about this. The past is the past. The future, we don't know what that's going to be. But the best thing that we can do right now is be present in the moment. But not be perfect. Just be present in the moment. And watch
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. You know, it takes a while to learn, but the fact is that the destination is the journey.
Right.
Everything that we do along the way makes it worth it when we reach that final destination, because we may slow down, we may reach milestones, but we never stop. And that's why next time on the Clint Initiative podcast, I'm going to have an update not just on the Dragonfly Nation film, and in addition to Dragonfly Nation, I'm hoping that I can introduce the possibility for the new Dragonfly Nation. The film that I'm working on, Black Men, that I discussed previously, is now going to be called Black Men. And of course, I'm hoping to preview some of the exclusive content for our Patreon members. That's coming up next week as well. And of course, last but not least, our first hit show, the Trinidad Takeover, is coming back next week. And with that, I want to thank you guys for having a great show. I want to thank our audience for being out there. And as we end the show, I want to tell everyone, have a great and blessed day. And that